There it's working. Okay, let me just see. So I got like 10 or 15 questions. So what I want to ask you, Mr. Clark, is can you tell me a brief history about yourself and how you got into aviation?
Well, actually, I was born and raised here in Osceola. I was hanging out at the airport all the time. I was able to get an aircraft flight just about any time I wanted one from the guys out the old airport. And consequently, one of them was teaching me to fly when I joined the Navy.
Right.
And I spent 23 years in the Navy, 8 years on submarines. I pushed boots as a drill instructor and a swimming instructor. I spent approximately 15 years in underwater demolition team and SEAL team.
Right, you were one of the original SEAL guys, right?
Well, not one of the originals, but close.
Yeah, that's what I think John told me. Yeah, he said pretty good though, to be starting off in that.
It was a career that I wish I could do it all over again. I might do it a little different, but
right.
I'd like to do it all over again. It was fun. And then when I come out of the Navy, one of the first things I done was bought a Cessna 150 Aerobat.
Okay.
And tornado took it away from me before I managed to kill myself in it.
Okay. You were really doing the aerobatics.
Yeah.
I see.
So, but all in all, that's the airport, like I said, was I flew every day. I built the Volksplane. That was the first airplane I built. I built it behind the screen at my theater. I had a big backstage, and I owned a theater here.
Okay.
So that's where I built that Volksplane, and that's where I built most of this one, was backstage of a movie theater.
In town?
In town.
Okay. Okay, that's pretty.
I flew that Volksplane for 33 years.
And then you sold it to somebody, or?
No, I tore it apart. I was beginning to have suspicions that there was, in the after part of the fuselage, might be going bad. So we took it apart, we sawed it up with a chainsaw into little short pieces and put them on a burn pile. And I saved all the good parts, all the good stuff, the tail feathers, all the control cables, the stick, anything that had value in it, I kept.
Right.
In case I wanted to.
And the motor, apparently.
And the engine.
And the motor, yeah. Okay. Let's see, so that's aviation, and all right, now this is kind of mixed. What would you do different if you were building a war aircraft again on this one? Because I know you went for lightness, you went for all the things. Is there anything you see as shortcomings, as you see that could be better for the next guy to follow along?
To be quite truthful with you, I would get a 2100cc Volkswagen engine with a built drive and put in it.
And that's because cheaper, what?
Cheaper, and the Volkswagen engine, as long as you check the valves, they'll run forever. That engine there is 33 years of flying, and I used to fly it every day.
Yeah, but and so belt with a reduction drive, and that you said something about CG though. Does that not mess up CG?
No.
Okay.
Not that much. 2100's pretty good size engine.
Okay, and any flight, there's nothing flying wise, that you think the structure's all very sound and?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but don't add.
Don't add any weight and don't take any away.
Because you can't hardly hurt it if you
Right.
just do that, right? Okay. And what is the most important or best characteristic of a war aircraft replica like this one?
They're fast. The climb rate isn't all that great, but they will get out and go. They've got a retractable landing gear, which helps with the speed. Other than that, I can't think of much anything.
Yeah, there's not much to do.
They handle great on the ground. They handle great on either concrete or grass. The only thing is, if you're on grass and you start to open the throttle up, you better have that stick all the way back, because the tail's gonna try to come up on you.
Right away.
Right
That's
away.
what the F4U guy said. He said he was surprised because he'd never flown one. He said the tail came up pretty quick on him, on that too. Okay. All right. And is there any worst characteristic that you know? Anything? What can hurt you in it? Anything?
Yeah, you can crash.
I mean, sink
Stall
rates?
speed-
Is there sink
stall
rates?
speed, stall speed clean is 70 miles an hour, or is 70.
70? And then when you're in ground effect, it'll get down to about
And,
65-ish.
You have to look out because you're gonna try to drop that right wing. As
Okay.
soon as it starts to stall, that right wing.
It's going to try to drop.
Yeah.
Okay, and you've already explored that thing. How about if building from plans, and you built several, how long to build?
I would say right offhand, you could build one in 1,000 hours.
But how fast could you build one now?
I could build one in 800.
Because you don't have to learn it all again.
Right.
Okay, and that's just building it per the plans, but yeah,
Right.
not screwing around and reinventing it. Right. Okay, so they're about 1,000 hours. And then what causes delamination and bubbles in the skin?
Heat.
Sun.
Yep.
So a warm hanger won't do it inside the shade,
No, it shouldn't do it inside.
but sitting out at a,
You go to a fly-in or something like that, and it's sitting outside, especially in Texas in that hot sun,
right.
you could bubble some of the paint.
Okay, that makes sense. And let's see, is there ever a need to adjust the landing gear? I was just kind of wondering. I thought there were shims, but maybe there's a need.
No, there's there on your landing gear link.
Yeah.
See where it hooks onto the landing gear?
Right?
Okay, you can take that loose and you can screw in or out on that link and adjust the gear to where it's setting just right.
Okay, so it's just just a couple of
Just
turns
tweak
and
it, yeah.
just a tweak, and that means it'll still lock down, but when it comes up, it'll bring it up tighter, or what do you mean?
Well, what I mean by that is this wheel here needs adjusted anyway.
Okay,
Okay, so by that length, I can make that tire at 100 straight up and down.
Okay.
Because the gear sits in like this.
okay. You know who that is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. So the gear thing is something that can be, but when we do the annual, I guess that'll happen
Yeah,
too.
I'll tweak that a little bit.
Okay, and okay, delamination. What kind of experience is necessary to fly a war aircraft? And I mean, like maybe in hours, tail wheel time. What kind of tail wheel time? We already talked about that a little bit, but
Find yourself a Citabra,
okay,
okay, or a EAA biplane, the two place.
okay. You mean like okay? Well, there's a two-place EA. Okay, not like
It's not called, I forget what it's called.
not a Pete and Paul,
Norman's got one over in his hangar.
and it flies. Okay, you're saying so pitch time is not necessary, or
If you can get some pitch time, yeah, it'd be nice.
okay? So, but a Citabria would be
I think a Citabra, I think if you can handle a Citabra, you can handle this airplane.
even though the visibility is an issue, or
The visibility is a definite issue. I mean, because as you saw, the vision isn't bad, it's terrible.
yeah, but it looks good.
Yeah.
You look great, but it looks the visibility. So you're flying
Well,
off
even on the
peripheral.
real ones,
When it's like this, you're flying, but when
Yeah.
but once the tail comes down,
Right.
you're back to looking out the sides.
I know guys that wheel land them a lot.
Is that good or bad?
That's good. If you can do a nice wheel landing, you just set her down on her mains and just pull the throttle off a little.
Little
bit.
tail low maybe, and just
Yeah.
let it drop on down. Okay. Okay, so just basically Citabria time would be good, and is it better to, obviously, the more experience you have in aviation, the better in general anyway, like a 250 or 1,000 hour guy or whatever. Okay,
Because you got the feel of the airplane, you know.
correct. Yeah, basically it's an airplane, and then, but yeah. What about, I asked about a fake ordnance. I was going to ask you, you told me that's exactly what that's for. I was looking at if I ever went somewhere.
But you can put drill some holes in the leading edge and stick you some guns in there.
I kind of wondered about that. You don't have the guns, but I thought about, I'd love to have just two.
Yeah,
Is that something the plans is already set up? You just didn't do it?
I just didn't do it.
Okay, because the other one,
The one I sold, the first one I had built, I did. I put the guns in.
pretty simple to do, just a straight little hole, then epoxy them in, I guess, a little bit, and then paint it.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's something. And then the bomb thing, I was thinking about a bomb thing to maybe put a pair of underwear and a pair of socks
Yeah.
and carry it with you if you went somewhere.
You could do that with the bomb. It's big enough. You could carry a shaving kit, some extra
I
clothes.
mean, if you wanted to make a fake bomb and then have out of carbon fiber or something. Yeah, okay, so that's what that's for, right underneath there, and it's obvious, I guess. If you take the plate off, it's got mounting. Okay, all right. What seems to be an issue with WAR aircraft with the weight thing? Why? We kind of talked about it. Why is it guys they don't follow the plans, right?
Why, I don't know, but like I said, right from the get-go, Jim would tell guys, hey, this I've tested it to plus or minus 6 Gs.
Okay.
Now, you want it to be 9 Gs, fine. The one thing that you could do is instead of using fiberglass, use carbon fiber.
And that would drop a few pounds.
Drop a few pounds off that.
Yeah. Right. But that's about it. Once again, yes, that's just one of my questions in the line here. We kind of talked about just don't do anything different.
Right.
Although the Corsairs and the P-47s and some of the other airplanes have retractable tail gear, that's got to add 10 pounds or something. I don't know what it adds, but it's weight in the back.
My Mustang had lockable tail wheel on it.
Okay.
It was pretty heavy.
Okay. So did you ever weigh your Mustang?
The Mustang would run probably with the engine I was going to put in it. I would estimate would probably be someplace around 750 to 780 pounds.
Which is pretty close to the WAR Aircraft Replica one.
Right.
They were like 740 also.
Right.
When I read it's in my newsletter, the weight and balance, 740 pounds or somewhere right there. So you did real well to get it that close then. Okay, but you had an engine on it at the time?
No.
Okay, the guy bought it.
Yeah.
Okay, the guy.
I also built a lowly P-40.
I know those.
California.
Yeah, I looked at those. They don't look as good as.
There.
Okay, so I've looked. All right. So I asked about the bubbles, and then is there any way to simplify the building so that more projects could be completed? I mean, you kind of know every technique on here.
As far as the manual goes, I have a technique that would really help people a lot, and that is on your main spar. When you put your main spar together, drill all the holes, have your landing gear, stick your landing gear in it, get everything working right, take it apart, put the spar in, and then put the gear back on it.
Oh, put the gear back on right then?
Yeah, and put because then you've got the plate for your controls, you got the plate for your table for your landing gear motor and gear drive. That's all been done, and if you get all that done, you're going to finish the airplane.
Because takes a lot of time. Guys they put it all together and then they try to do that, and it's like pain in the butt to get inside there and
That's it.
do it all outside, pre-done, ready to go, and then install it.
Right. And I tell them in the manual. It's Jim's manual, but I just
Right. Jim Kern.
and tweaked it.
Yeah. Yeah, because you've done it. You know.
Done it, and I sold those. I was selling those manuals like hotcakes for a while.
Oh, you were because you said you said this is my manual, helps you build them?
Yeah.
Okay.
And even Carl Boring would recommend guys get Park's manual.
Right. Okay. All right. And then let's see, I'm down almost to the end. All right. What main things do you look for when you do an annual on this thing?
Okay. I will retract the gear.
Right.
I will check the engine. The tail wheel.
I mean, just condition, you're just going around and doing,
It's a condition inspection
right,
rather than what you call an annual. In fact, that's what you enter in your log is a condition inspection.
because it's experimental or?
Experimental, it's experimental.
And can you look at, is there a way to look at aileron bell cranks, or can you see those when you take the wing off, or like, do you have to check that stuff?
You can check that. The bell cranks are right there at the, well, you can see them.
Okay, and so and that'd be is that what you, so if I'm doing
Now,
an annual?
normally on a condition inspection, I'd never remove the wings.
Right, okay, because you just know, okay, so
Yeah.
there's no plate though to look at, is it necessary to look at? I mean,
No.
okay. And so they're pretty simple. You think it's like a 10-hour inspection, or is it a 5-hour thing for you to do? Because you're going to swing the gear, you're going to,
In a matter of 3 hours.
because you're just checking the motor, just checking.
And pull the prop, pull the spinner and the prop, or I'm not gonna pull the prop. I'll pull the spinner and I'll check the torque on the prop,
Okay,
on the prop blades, and do that.
okay. Yeah, and so then the last thing was insurance issues. You don't have it. I'm finding out that for me,
Pretty hard.
it's free. It's hard. And they want me to have 20 hours. Like for me, airline pilot, they want me to have 20 hours of tail wheel time. I said, well, wouldn't you rather me just get 50 landings? You know, they didn't. So anyway, so that's the deal there. And, you know, liability things, I guess I'll just try to come. Do you even have liability insurance, or probably don't now, but.
At one time I did have liability.
So I'm going to at least try to have that, I think. But yeah, I asked you that question on the phone last night, and I think, yeah, it's just,
The first time I insured a home built, and I insured the home built for sitting in the hangar. In case the hangar blew away in the tornado, which that was the way my Cessna went.
mm-hmm. In a hangar?
And it was took the hangar and the airplane, the whole works.
Okay.
So, and I asked the guy, I said, I want to insure the airplane, and I said, as far as, once it's out of the hangar, it's not insured anymore, but I want it insured inside the hangar.
Yeah, because it sits here a lot. Things happen if the hangar burns, if,
Hangar fire, something like that.
okay. All right, well, those are all my questions. I think that'll help people to get that information. And so I'll just say this is Gerald Clark, builder of 3 war aircraft replicas and numerous other, and service of his country as a Navy SEAL and everything. That's just really great. Thanks a lot.